What is poppin', everybody? Welcome to episode 75. Say what? You've had conversations with me for 75 weeks, Yanko, and we're still having fun. That's crazy. Anyway, episode 75 of For No Particular Reason. I am your host, Kerri Lewis, alongside with my co-host Yanko Yankov, and we show up every week to talk about anything and everything. So today I'm coming in to you from New York City. It's already been quite adventurous. What's going on in your world there, Yanko?
New York, New York. You're having a lot more adventures than I do. I'm just doing good old fishing with my son, and that's pretty much it. Like nothing as exciting as you do, though. It's a town.
Hey, you know what? I love that you said that because I want to jump right in. I My brother-in-law caught me a few weeks ago. I had poured creamer into my coffee and I was just so fascinated by the molecules, like how the design kept changing as the heat and the cold blended together and made different patterns. And in that moment, it was pure bliss. And that's something I shared yesterday with somebody, Lindsay Height, my best friend, because so often we seek this, oh, I got to be in New York City, or oh, I want to be at a concert. But I have some of the best moments staring at like a leaf blowing in the wind. Or to your point, I mean, you're fishing with your little guy after not seeing him for a couple months. That to me is, I mean, I can't think of something better to do.
I know, but the reason I'm saying that it's because there is everyone has a different way to be excited or have moments of excitement because we think that um, we're going for that excitement moment, that it's like a permanent excitement, or we hang on to it as much as we want and we keep searching that excitement. But it's so good that you had that experience of just being in the present and having that moment, because I've had those before and those are awesome. Nothing can beat that.
Yeah, it really is pretty peaceful. But I will tell you, in New York City, I had my first Korean barbecue experience yesterday. For anybody who's never gone to a Korean barbecue, holy crap, I highly recommend it. It is, well, first off, it's totally gluttonous. I mean, I ate in excess and I was so glad I had to walk 20 minutes to the hotel because I felt like a Oompa Loompa. Like I was like, but I had the ability to try all of these new, ways of cooking food, and then also being in the experience with company that I wouldn't typically keep because I was with Nana and his cosplay friends. So it was just such a beautiful experience. And I bring that up because when we open ourselves to all possibilities, we get to experience things that so often we would never have had access to coming from a closed off mind, right? Because I didn't make an assumption of how, Korean barbecue would taste or what Nana's friends would be like because they're into cosplay or whatever. I was able to be present in that moment and really just, oh, it was just so beautiful. It's like indescribable.
Well, I do know. Because I roll like yourself. I roll with whatever comes my
You
way.
keep
Because
it
you're right.
rolling.
If
You
you
riding.
yeah,
I'm
if you have
sorry.
an expectation, I love that.
Now you're bringing out the rapper in me, or at least the R&B singer.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, then you win it the way you expect it, and then you get experience for yourself because of that way you expect it. then because you're already going with idea of what it's supposed to be like, they need to know what it is.
Yeah.
uh,
It's really
but
true.
but
Well,
it's
and
good though. Yeah,
that
go
that's
ahead.
why, I constantly encourage people to even be open to their children and their significant others in a new way. Like, not to make an assumption that they know their person because they've done like many multiple moments of them, because we are constantly shifting and evolving, and our small self, our limiting self that wants to keep us safe and secure, creates these stories about how a person needs to be or who they're going to be and how they're going to behave. And when I'm open to even Nana, right? Like, granted, I have the ability to see him express himself in many different ways through caricatures, dressing up and stuff. But even being able to witness him maybe show more compassion towards somebody when in previous experience he might not have, or whatever, I get to see him in a whole new light in the present moment, rather than who I assume him to be because I've spent many, many moments of life with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because again, you have an expectation of like how somebody shows up in the world, and if they do something that you haven't expected, then that throws you off, and then you go like, well, what come to you, or why are you acting this way? Because you already have an expectation of how somebody should be acting, because you already have a version of themselves built inside your mind, and that's what happens.
Well,
And
but also,
you don't see that, with little kids, because they don't have a version that it's something familiar to you yet. They
yeah,
don't have the persona. So they're acting unexpectedly. They could be just holding something and just drop it. And you'd be like, whoa, what's wrong with you? Or because you had an expectation of how a person should be behaving. And if they didn't behave that way, then something is wrong. you know?
yeah.
So yeah.
But I also think that bears true for ourselves too. I think the person that I create the most suffering within my own expectations of myself.
Hmm.
And I'm going to give you a real life, real time example. Okay. Everybody who's watched me for any amount of time knows that I really work to stay grounded in love and joy, and like just stay in this presence of, flow. But today I'm on the 21st floor of my hotel, and I'm sitting waiting for this elevator for 10 minutes, then 12 minutes, then 15 minutes. And I got pissed off. I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm waiting. I want to go meet my mans to have some breakfast and mainly coffee, because yes, people, I'm addicted to coffee and I love my coffee. Um, and it's taken forever. So I watched myself go through this entire experience of like irritation. And then I watched myself judge myself for being irritated because I'm supposed to be this happy go lucky, loving person and really happy about all the things that are going on. And then I just had to laugh. And I'm like, none of this is real. This is all just a joke. And then I said, oh, guess what? There's a stairway, and I have very strong legs that I train at the gym regularly, and I can walk down the damn stairs, and that's what I did. But that's like, this is where I want our listening audience to know, like, if we have an expectation of ourselves, it's going to show up differently too. So that's why it's staying curious, and instead of when you're irritated judging yourself, just like observe it and be like, okay, I mean, get irritated, this too will pass. And then for me, what I ask myself is, what can I do to just move to a different experience? And for me, it was opening the door and walking down 21 flights of stairs.
It just is like that. And I'm glad you had that realization, because who is this person that's supposed to be happy all the time that you mention it? Like you said, I supposed to be this happy person, and this and that, and who is this happy person that's supposed to be happy all this time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you realize that it's all non-existing, and you laugh because
But
it's all in your
but I
head. No,
go ahead.
that's all I had to say.
Well, but I do want to, given the fact that I can't speak for you, but I work with a lot of people who are stuck in unconsciousness, or really in the confines of, I mean, what some people call the matrix, other people call like conditioning, whatever the case is. And in that respect, they tend to operate from the 80,000 thoughts that come up from a core belief system that they are stuck in, whatever that is. And in that place, I do feel that it is important to give yourself permission to shift perspectives, right? So for you and not me, right? Like, I could bear witness to me being irritated, but I also recognize that I have the power in this moment to make a different choice and change that, right? Doesn't make me wrong or bad for being irritated, but I also feel empowered. I get to make a different choice that will give me a new experience that could feel different, feel more joyful, so to speak, for me.
Yep.
For people who are unconscious and they are stuck in this routine of like negativity or belief systems, it is important that they recognize, while I never want anybody to judge themselves, I don't care if you are like the most negative person, you operate from a lot of fear, you judging that is never going to help you move forward. But also giving yourself permission to change your mind, to have a different perspective, to make a different choice, because in that choice you will
Yep.
have a new perspective, and that gives you awareness and experience. And if you have the new experience, well, then you have something imprinted in your brain that you can call upon the next time you might be stuck in negative thinking.
Yep. Reality of things is people just like it for one reason or another to be there, and no judgment if you're one of those people that it's stuck in that situation. um and they don't know that
Yeah.
they have options. So now you know that you have options. You don't have to be that way. You can always choose to, you know, do something else. The problem with being in the character and stuck in the situation is that you're acting out of your emotions, and you take your emotions as something that you think you are, but they're just energy and motion. There's something that's happening in the moment, and it's not you. And you always have the choice to just watch and see how it unfolds, but not react. So that's the
I'm
option.
writing something. I think this is really important for the watching audience to recognize emotions are just energy in motion. That is such a beautiful and articulate way to explain what emotions are. And again, I think so many people resist feeling their emotions for whatever reason, for whatever belief systems they have or hold on to. Um, and the reality,
Well, you're not, yeah, you're not feeling your emotions. They're just there. You have the illusion that you think you're feeling the emotion because it's emotion, it's energy in motion, there's feelings involved, and you take it and you say that it's you. And but they're happening either you like it or not. They're just happening because the body has that going. The same way you'll sense hot and cold emotions in there, you don't have to fully take it as yourself. You can just watch it unfold. And as energy and motion moves the same way the waves move, you watch the emotion move through the body and you don't resist it. So you'd only have to go, oh no, this feels uncomfortable. I'm gonna shut it
Well,
off.
when we do that, though, we create suffering. And it's interesting the way you said that. I was just listening to a lecture by Hawkins, and that's exactly what his book, Letting Go Pathway to Surrender, talks about for anybody who is looking for a great read. I read it years ago, but I recommend it a lot. It can be dense, but if we just bear witness to the experience we're in, it moves through us like this. So, what he talked about was spraining his ankle, but instead of resisting it, right, just sitting on a park bench and experiencing the waves of pain wash over him, not judging it, not trying to push it away, not making up a story about it, just being in the present moment with that pain. And within 5 minutes, he was up walking on a severely sprained ankle, and it healed itself. And there's so much scientific evidence that is out there now that really suggests if we just sit with what is coming up for us, sit with it without judging ourselves, whether it's rage or insecurity or whatever, it moves through us relatively quickly. And it's not imprinting, it's not creating what some people deem as karma, like these memories we got to flesh out in the future that will come back. We just feel it and heal it and move on, or feel it and experience it and move on. And that, I believe, is what we were meant to experience here in our human condition. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't really had a one-on-one with consciousness creation yet, so who knows? But you know, uh,
I won't say that you need to let it go or do anything with it because it's happening without your involvement.
right, but it will move.
You choose to, you choose to get involved in the whole process because it's like the clouds in the sky. They don't go anywhere. They don't have no agenda. They're not hurrying to get from the one side of the sky to the next side of the sky. There's nothing going on. They don't claim that they're the sky or any of that. So when that comes in, it just moves and you watch it. You don't claim it. You don't say, well, I have to move it or I have to let go. No, you don't have to be involved. All you have to do is be and see how everything unfolds. That's about it.
Yeah.
And when you were saying that, I had another thought in mind. You know, drunk people, because they're so in flow, because they're not resisting, when they fell, they don't, get severe body injuries because they're in the flow with the whole process of them falling or, stumbling around or walking or whatever. And they're never getting good morning. Yes. They're never getting any serious injuries because it's like the wu wei, Um, in even a story that I was like lately, I've been exploring. I think it's called Genzi or Genzo, or I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but it's somebody that went after
About
um,
to.
Wild Zoo, yes. And there was a story about a guy, watching a really fast traveling river, with all the swirls and everything, and then all of a sudden he saw an old man going on the other side and getting ready to jump in the river, and in that moment he thought that old guy wanted to kill himself because river was so fast moving. And he didn't say anything. The guy jumped in the river and gets swallowed by the river. But then down the stream, he saw the guy come out, and just kind of, get his clothes off and get ready and move on like nothing's happening. So he was surprised and wanted to go on and find out what was going on. Was this guy trying to kill himself, or like what was his intention and why didn't he die? And then when he met the guy told him something along the lines like, you know, I just let go and I become one with the water. And the entire experience, I was in the other side. I wasn't resisting the flow. I wasn't fighting the water or anything. I just felt like I'm one with the water. So that was kind of like The same situation with drunk people. You're not involved. Your ego is not there. You're not you that you think you are because you're drunk. You're like, ooh, in La La Land somewhere. So you're not getting in your own way. So you're not getting injured. You're totally protected, and everything goes the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, it's interesting you say that because yesterday on my newsfeed, somebody had posted a reel of people who were high on heroin. And I mean, you see them if you ever watch somebody who is like really just, shot up heroin, they're like very limbo. Like they're just like going like this and that. And that to me is where I think people chase, and that's how they get addicted to things, is they want that flow, right? Everybody wants to be able to be at peace with life at all times. It's
Mhm.
just that we get caught up with societal expectations, right? Beliefs and habits from our families, from our jobs and whatever. And so we feel like we're not able to be in flow, and as a result, we suffer.
Mhm.
And so people consume alcohol or heroin or whatever in order to achieve that flow. And as you consume it, you need more and more and more. Case in point, I was up to 2 bottles of wine at night, right? To just be able to be in that. But that is also why you and I can only speak for me, but I know you well enough that I know you can care. It's why I feel truly called to do this work with individuals. And in fact, when people thank me, I stop and I thank them. I thank them for allowing me to bear witness to their experience and giving themselves permission to open up to freedom, right? Because it's a
Mhm.
blessing for me too. And it is because I know firsthand experience that you can achieve that flow without needing alcohol. You can achieve that flow without needing heroin. And I'm going to give you a real life story with my daughter. So, even children are conditioned to problem solve, right? We go to school and the teacher's like, oh, you need to absorb all this information, and then you need to make a calculated choice, blah, blah, blah. I call bullshit, right? So my daughter calls me up freaking out. She's like, Mom, I have student orientation for this college class I'm really excited about taking on Friday, but I also need to take CPR training for the job that I'm considering getting. And then lastly, I want to see Estella because I haven't seen Estella and I really missed her. She's been away. And she's like amping herself up. Like she's really getting into this place of anxiety. And I said, do me a favor. Just babe, if you trust your mama at all, walk away from it all. Say, you know what, universe, I'm giving it up to you. And let it go. Go find something else to do. Don't even try to focus on it. It will work out. And with a little hem and haw, she's like, okay. She calls me up that night, so excited. Mom, you're never gonna guess what. And I said, what, baby? She said, okay. Well, I talked to the guy, Brian. I got the job, and he said I didn't need to do CPR training that Friday, that they offer it every couple months. And I'm able to go to this orientation on Friday that I'm really excited about because I can't wait to take the class. And lastly, Estella's parents said I could sleep over. So I'm at Estella's house hanging out with her. So everything that my daughter wanted to experience worked out when she stopped trying to control it. And that is flow. When you just have an idea of what it is you would like to experience, and then you don't try to figure out how it unfolds. But that comes from surrender. That comes from trust. And that's why I work with people to start small, start letting go of very small things and build up evidence in your own experience that allows you to then surrender bigger things and bigger things until your life ends up being flow. And you just, to your point, you don't have to change anything. You're just going along and do. Oh, yep, that happened. Do. Oh, that's cool. Do.
Well,
And you're just
it's
chilling.
there's different levels of awareness though. I I follow some people that have communities along the lines with like Kundalini awakening and in going through the process. And there was a one that they were talking about like how you get to the point when your character, your ego, it's not happy at all because nothing makes it happy anymore, and nothing that was fulfilling it before, it doesn't fulfill it anymore. And it feels like there's no purpose for it to exist because everything that the ego made up was the purpose in the ego that existed. But finding out that there's no, that doesn't have to be a purpose because everything just happens, it's a huge disappointment for the ego. And there's a lot of suffering in that. So a lot of people, when they got to the point, they got very disappointed because they were somebody, and they don't want to become nobody or give up whatever they were involved in before. So yeah. Different levels.
Yeah, I have those
Yeah,
moments.
different levels of
And
awareness. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
challenging. But again, I get that there's different levels, but let's just, for the sake of our listening audience, assume that, you know, and I don't want to assume, but let's meet people in all areas of consciousness, right? And so for my daughter who's 16 years old, and yeah, she has me for a mom, but I mean, let's be real, guys. My kids think I'm batshit bananas. I mean, they love me, they really do. But compared to what they experience around them by society, most people, I mean, their mom's a little cuckoo banana pants, which is fine. Like, I always tell them, I was like, I don't sit in suffering and other people do. So who's the fool? So even if by society standards, I should be placed in a loony bin, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm happy, so what's it matter? You know what I mean?
But that's
Um,
the thing,
but
though. When you're happy with yourself, you don't need to be a certain place. You can be happy even in the Looney Tunes. You can be happy anywhere.
I
You can
know
be you
a
can be
hundred
happy in
percent.
like in the middle of a landmine field or anything. Like you can be happy anywhere. Your happiness
Yeah,
does not depend on outside factor or anything. So yeah.
but so for individuals who operate a lot like Billy, I'm sorry, baby. I mean, she's used to me using her in examples anyway. In the example of Billy, right? Her natural, well, not natural, but her way of handling situations, right? How we're taught is to overthink. And I will tell you 100%, I will die on a cross for this. Humans' biggest addiction is thinking, it's overthinking. That's it. Like, we
Yeah.
think ourselves into suffering like that. We could be happy as fucking as soon as our ego kicks in. It's like, Nana's at the con with other people. And you're like, dude, and then you're like gone down a rabbit hole of craziness, right? So, but for those individuals, this is what I would say is give yourself permission to let go. Pick one problem that you are currently experiencing, right? Whether it's with money, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's getting a job, whether it's whatever. And then can you give yourself permission to, you know what? I'm not going to solve this problem today. I'm going to go do something fun, and I'm going to give it to, I'm just going to say, hey, I trust that whatever's meant to be in the greatest good of everybody will work out, and you let it go. And 100% of the time, it's going to work out for the greatest good of everybody. And usually because you're coming from a place of love, because when you're not controlling the outcome, that's love. When there's not an expectation, that's love. It's just pure, okay, whatever it is. In that, things always work out in the greatest good of everybody, and then you start to build that evidence within your own life's experience that will make it so it's easier for you to learn to surrender more often.
Yes, and that's also a process because when you're getting that, and um, whatever shame, guilt you're experiencing before will surface right out the bat. And you might start feeling like you're not deserving, and good things are only happening to other people's and not to yourself. And you might start to sabotage yourself. So yeah, there's
Well,
different
yeah,
levels.
but that is why, for anybody out there listening, the greatest gift you can give yourself is, even if it feels hard in the beginning, if you can just say to yourself these few simple words: I suspend what I think I know. I suspend what I think I know. You are open to all possibilities. The problem is, we are locked into belief systems that we've never given ourselves a chance to question whether they serve us or not. I have very close individuals, I mean, people in my immediate family, who were like, well, I don't have the need, I don't want to make a lot of money or that, whatever. Because when I was being brought up, people with a lot of money were
Yeah,
bad. They
yeah,
were, vicious and
right.
all this. So I can see that. But or belief systems around success. Well, if so, on my vision board for 15 plus years, at least since I was 32, it said motivational speaker, right? A lot of people are like, who are you to want to do that? But why can't I? And that's the thing is, so if you suspend what you think you know and you're open to all possibilities, well, all possibilities can present themselves to you. And I was talking to this incredible individual this past week who has such a unique life. Like, I love listening to their stories because it's so random and new. And this individual was like, oh, I can't public speak. Hell no. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, are you kidding me? You're charismatic, you're super engaging, you have a super like unique vibe about you. Public speaking, I would think, would be right up your wheelhouse. But when this individual was in school, some teacher told this individual, I really should fail you for public speaking, but I'm going to pass you because you tried. Right? Belief
Yep.
system, I can't public speak. Now, fast forward 30 years later, this individual thinks they can't do public speaking. When I look at them and I'm just like, whoa, tell me more, tell me more. And that is why we must, if you do nothing else, question your belief. And if it makes you feel icky or sticky or shitty, get rid of the belief. Get rid of the belief. Give yourself permission to get a new belief, because we get to experience this life however we want. And my contention is, if we know that love, joy, acceptance all operate at power energies, at more powerful energies, then why wouldn't you get rid of a belief that makes you weak in order to have a belief that empowers you, so that you have the ability to have more powerful experiences, because we're magnets and we attract what we are.
Or I'll say just face your fears. If you're afraid to do something, go for it. Force yourself, like you said. Get. You often say that. Get out of your comfort zone. Test it. See what's coming out of it. Test it. Get on the stage and
I have to tell you, I
there you go.
I don't know how I feel about Nana's hat. Like, he likes it. This is his Luffy hat. But
Yeah, from the
I don't
mask.
know. I feel like I like an old Westerner
No,
or
now you're just looking like a super trooper.
oh, okay. That's the wrap. I'll go back to my message.
The
Icky, icky. Here we
super troopers. Yeah, there you go.
go. But you're 100% right. Like,
That's it. Get the
um,
experience.
without fear, you're free, guys. Without fear, you're free, right? Like, I was just telling Yanko earlier, I posted a picture of me nude on Facebook last week, and it was to encourage people to do what feels right for them, because we hear these words, do no harm. And yes, I'm not actively seeking to harm another individual. However, I am doing harm to myself if I limit myself because I'm making a choice out of fear that somebody else is going to be uncomfortable or judge me. And so when you have no fear, you're free. And yes, I'm going to tell you right now, in the society we live in, you are going to offend the fuck out of some people. I tell potential clients up front, I'm like, I swear all the time. So if you don't like swearing, I'm not the one for you. If I'm not able to show up present and in love for you, I'm canceling our call, and I have no guilt about it. And that does not vibe with some people, but that's okay, because in shedding the people that don't feel comfortable with that,
Yeah,
I
you're making
attract people
space
who do.
for other. Yeah.
100%. Yep. And that's the biggest thing, Yanko, that I see. I even see this with one of my dearest, closest ride or dies. You see them coming out of this cocoon and really just claiming their power and showing up. And yet there's a part of them that resists that because of rejection and because how powerful you are. The other thing is, and it is true, Marianne Williamson wrote a passage, I don't even know when. It was on my wall at my old home. But our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We ask ourselves, who are we to be this? But the bigger question, and I agree, who are we not? If we were created as unique strains of consciousness in a collective consciousness by creation, one would surmise that we are meant to be fully expressed. So instead of saying, who do I think I am to be that, say, who am I not to be? I am walking this experience, and in this experience, I get to do whatever the hell I want. And you do. As long as if you're coming from love, that's the lens does this feel loving for me? Because if it's loving for me, I'm in power. I'm going to do it. Damn if other people understand it or not.
That's why oftentimes I think of to be or not to be, because you can be or not be. You're it. You're the two side of the coin. So you can choose if you want to be or not be. Not in the way of like, a certain way expressing yourself, I meant. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is we get like, and I want the listening audience to hear this. I don't always feel brave. I really don't always feel brave. There are times when I let my ego get the best of me. But when that happens, I always ask myself, what's coming up for me? What story's coming up for me that I need to release so that I don't feel like I need to play small, you know? And sometimes it takes me a minute, sometimes it takes me a couple days, but I really do always come back to who I am just as I am is enough. It really is. Who I am just as I am is enough. And in that, I love who I am, and I love my life. To your point, I mean, I was telling Lindsay Height yesterday, I look back at my life. Actually, I'm going to digress to come back to what we were talking about, because I think it's full circle. You said when we just observe what's going on, we don't have to try to change anything. We just observe it. And I experienced that. And I was talking to Lindsay, and we were talking about journaling, and I shared with her, I'm not called to journal anymore. Not right now anyway. I have ebbs and flows, but for me, it's just kind of allowing things to unfold and witnessing them real time and just seeing it. Um, and in that, I realized that for 5 years, I've had this illusion that I need to do more for my business. I need to do more for this and that. Never really examining how fucking amazing my life is. And I know my life's amazing, guys. Like, I know, but really, when you look at it, in the past 5 years, I've gone on more vacations than most people go on. I have gone and seen ridiculous amounts of musicians. I have connected with people globally. I have meaningful relationships with people around the world that I would have no problem dropping in and staying at their house in a heartbeat. I've been able to sit with people who are at their lowest point and inspire them to have hope that things could be differently, and then watch them grow. So this idea of me needing to do more has actually prevented me from appreciating the experience I've had for 5 years.
Well,
And so
I was
go
gonna say
ahead.
congratulations, and I'm so glad you brought it up because a lot of people have an expectation of like how a successful business should look like or how a successful person should look like, and success is measured differently for everyone. One person of success could be to me, and another person meaning of success have freedom to choose to do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. Another person, there's very many different ways to think that you're successful, and it's the same thing as the business you described it. And I'm so glad you had that aha moment because, like, think about it. You had it all the time. You just didn't. It's just like that little thing, like the carrot that is dingo on the front of your face, and you're not seeing it, and you're like, "Oh my god, now I get it."
Well, and that's the thing is I think I don't think I know. For me, I have that aha moment, but I have to have it many times. And for the listening audience, that's why I'm very transparent about my own journey in this life, is because I have these aha moments and then I forget them. And then I
But
get
no,
back
it's
to
it,
this.
it's
And
it,
this
it's yeah, it's good because as a society or human likes to be in groups of human and they have that sense of belonging, and we like to share stories, and this has been storytelling. It's been part of humanity for many decades and decades. Grandparents tell stories to their kids, and when you share your story, other people can relate and find out that they're not on their own. There's other people that have the same experiences because of the whole story sharing experience, which is great. you know,
and yet
just like anything,
what?
it is what it is. There's no, and like I was talking about the carrot. In the end, you're gonna realize that you never existed, or at least the version you thought you are never existed, and you're just this everything. It gives me it makes me laugh every time.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
You see,
And I yeah, now I'm all
you
choked
get
up.
it.
Evidently, my throat chakra is telling me something. It's like you either need to be still and listen, or you need to say something. Um, oh, we have my beautiful, there we go, Arishka, which I always say Irina. So girlfriend, I don't know, man, but thank you for showing up and showing out. And I will agree with you, Irishka, who, by the way, guys, you're in New York City. Just an FYI, I'm in New York City right now. I'm in Manhattan until Monday. Who knows? Maybe I can pop up and see you.
Maybe give each other a call.
But you never
Yeah.
know. No, but that I really do. I agree with Arishka in that our stories are superpower. I always share that. And it's not to, and this is where I really have to watch myself because my ego will come up and sneak in, but it's not to project what I think another person needs to do for their own story. It really is hope. My hope is in sharing my story, it gives other people permission to release what what their expectations are and have a different experience. That's the only reason I share the stories, is because of the fact that I want people to know they're free. We are free. Without fear, you are free. Without fear, you are free. Without stories, you are free. Without any of this judgment and expectation, there's just this freedom and this peace that is indescribable, and everybody has the ability to tap into it. It's just most people spend their whole lives chasing it and never get it because of the stories that are stuck in their heads.
Yep. And we just said it in another way. After episode 75, we keep drumming the same drum, but a different way.
Facts, Ibishka. It's so true. I mean, yeah. I just laugh because, again, when you're really free, people don't understand you. And this is what I want the listening audience. Me and Nana, we don't understand each other sometimes. Literally, Nana's like, baby, he loves me so much. He's just like, yes, so I can't even think of the word, but like, oh, he calls me weird. He's like, you're so weird. And I'm like, babe, you're so weird. And it's the greatest compliment ever, because if I'm weird, I'm being me.
Exactly. And I'm starting to get the same sense too. You know,
Yeah.
people don't get it because that's part of the mind, the analytical thing that has to make sense to. If it doesn't make sense to it, they can put two and two together. The mind stops. And
Say hi, Luffy.
there he is.
Speak up.
There you go. There you
I
go.
was wearing
Put the
your
hat
hat, and
on.
it's probably looking better on you.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm excited. I am really, really excited for this today. How are y'all doing?
We're amazing. How are you?
I am heading out.
I know.
Briefly.
But to the point, right? For the
so
listening
weird.
audience, what's that?
You're so
I
weird.
know I'm
So
weird.
weird.
No, but here's the thing. Nana and me allow each other to be our unique individual selves at all times. Right? Nana doesn't try to change me. For example, I shared with the listening audience, I was irritated about the elevator. Nana didn't say to me, oh, babe, don't be irritated, whatever. He let me be irritated, and he didn't judge me or try to change my experience. And I was able to move through that experience. And the same is when Nana dresses up as Luffy. I don't, try to understand why that makes him happy. I appreciate the fact that he's doing what makes him happy. And so that is where that freedom comes from. I feel secure in who I am, and as a result, I attracted an individual in my life who feels secure in who he is, and we feel secure in being, what is it, like an enigma. He doesn't know how I'm going to show up. I don't know how he's going to show up, but we love each other and the whole of us, rather than the idea of who we think we need to be in relation to each other.
Yeah, because you surprise yourself every time. There's no expectation. You're
100%.
like, you're throwing yourself curveballs all the time. You're like, I don't know what's gonna happen, like how things are gonna go. But that's the way life is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a wonder. It's supposed to be a moment, and you get moment to moment to moment, and you keep surprising. I won't say yourself because, yeah, you know where that goes.
Mhm. I wish the loves that had on you, babe.
Huh?
I wish the loves that had on you.
You what?
Irishka is a person who
Oh.
commented on our show who
Yes.
loves the hat on you.
Oh, Tara said thank you.
He can probably hear you.
Oh, shoot.
Nana says
Hi.
thank you and hi. Can you hear me water and my coffee, please? Because you're the best ever. Thank you. I love you so much. Yeah. Anyway, what else? I really, I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah, that's how we're coming to the end of this episode. when we have
Chilling
to.
like a
There,
villain,
there you go. Maybe we'll
doing
end up
my
with a little song, a little bit
dancing,
of like,
singing
yeah.
away. I do. Here we go. That's my baby.
There you go.
Oh,
Come on in, yo. The party's happening now. We're all in here jamming and we're having fun.
yo, that's funny as shit.
Oh my God, it's so well, and that's the thing is like, yesterday I was sitting across the table with all these people who are seemingly, and I really mean it, seemingly so different from me, right? They're talking about dodgeball and all these different anime shows but right, so I get to sit back as the observer, right? And there was a guy across from me who was very, very quiet, and then there was me, and I'm just watching this joy unfold, these people in deep joy with each other, like just doing what makes them happy. And I'm like, wow, this is so interesting. And that is one of the things I will say I take away from Nana going to the cons is there is this childlike wonder amongst the individuals who go that is just really beautiful to witness, because in that space of dressing up or being in character, they feel safe and they feel connected, and they don't feel like they have to conform to an expectation or, I don't even know, meeting anybody else's needs. It's really, really beautiful. It's really beautiful.
It's also inviting, you know. If
Mm.
somebody's showing that way, they make you curious, then you go and you say, "Oh, I like your staff. Are you Moses or who are you today?" you know
The funny thing is,
what I said? And they
I
start going in
not.
character to go like, "Behold," and you're like, "Yes, bring it on."
Nana and I were downstairs eating, and some guy walks in with this long white wig and a beard, and he starts putting together a staff just this morning.
I thought he was Dumbledore.
I did. I thought he was
That's amazing,
Dumbledore
though.
from. Yeah, I swear, it's so funny. It's so, yeah.
I'll see you at the con.
I know you will. You'll see him at the con. Nana's getting ready to step out and show
I'm
up. But, I do want to, here's the thing. I want to go back full circle to what we were talking about, where it's suspend what you think you know. Nana and I get off the train yesterday, and he says to me, everybody in New York, and this is a casual comment, everybody in New York is too busy. They're super focused on, and I was like, well, I don't believe that. No kidding. Ask Nana. We had people stop us and say, hey, we like your fits, your energy. The cops helped to direct us to go to Starbucks. Like, people were so kind and stopped and like looked at us in the eyes. And so that is where I encourage people to suspend what they think they know, because they're like, oh, you're going to Big Apple, everybody's this way and this way. And if I don't have that belief, that's not going to be the experience I have. Now, granted, did I, witness people who were very like focused on, yeah, but because that was not all I was looking for, right? I didn't say this is what I'm going to experience.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
well, I don't believe that. I got to experience some great connections like this in the Big Apple. And that's why, guys, if you do nothing else, say to yourselves, give yourselves permission to have a different experience by saying, I suspend what I think I know in order to have a different experience. And you will have a different experience. And then you start to imprint this understanding into your brain that gives you permission to challenge everything. Then you stop being a slave to this conditioned, illusionary world that will keep you locked in suffering.
I was gonna say that we share a reality, like Rishka was saying, our belief shape our reality. I think that we share the reality. So you sharing the reality, and you're connecting with people, and you're sharing that reality with the same people that are also looking for connection, and you're in the same reality. But then the same reality is the people that go and they're not in that vibe, they're not looking for connection, or they're busy or whatever else is going on. So we coexist, but whatever. Yeah.
We love you, Arishka, too. Sorry, I just wanted, if she's jumping, I wanted to say thank you for joining. You're welcome anytime, beautiful soul.
Yeah, of course. We had you. We had you on the show before. Come back. Come vibe with us,
Come back
baby.
to the
Come back.
town where we all just act like clowns, because
Yeah,
that's the way
there you
we
go.
do. Okay. I've had too much coffee now, people. I'm like ready to.
Yeah, you're totally charged. You're ready to take on the world. That's how it's.
I am like you can run cab. Woo! Let's go. I know. And then I wonder why my kids are like, "Mom, you crazy." I mean, I love you too. Okay, I think with that we can sign off 4 minutes early. For anybody and everybody who showed up and showed out, thank you for your energetic exchange, Nana, Irishka, all the things. We appreciate you. And thank you. I don't know what that is. And we'll be back next week for episode 76 for no particular reason. Please like, share, subscribe, whatever the things are that they say you should do if you want to. And if you don't, that's cool too. Keep it moving along. Anything from you, Yanko?
You covered it pretty well. You're on the roll. I was gonna say, do the things. You know what that is. Like or don't like or dislike. Matter of fact, dislike us. That'll also help us find out where we're going.
Well, actually, that's not true. Let's be real. You and me won't care one way or another. I'm sorry, but not sorry. Like,
no.
how me and Yanko
You're
show up.
right. Like I don't care.
It was like, let's be real. You like us, you don't like us.
It is
Makes
what
no
it
difference.
is. Yeah.
As long as find what you like for yourself. I don't care if it's dressing up as Luffy like Nana, if it's playing dodgeball, if it's reading the Upanishads like me, whatever it is, like whatever brings you joy. In your joy, you are offering joy to the world. You are charging this world with love. So whatever it is, find it. And in that, you are extending love to me, to Yanko, to Irishka, to Nana, and to the world. So for that, I say keep on finding your joy. And until next week, we will check you on the flip side.
Bye.
Start spreading the news.
Oh, there you go. We're gonna send you off with a song.
I want to be a part of it. Oh, Nana's calling me.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Where is it? Yes.
There you go.
Oh, we got it. Hang on 1 second, Yanko. Where is it though? Are you coming back up? Okay, love you. All right, what's this say? Oh, sweet. At 1 sec, Yanko, I just have to give Nana his money.
Oh, money. Monies. He needs the monies.
You don't understand though, man. This elevator takes a grip. He's not here yet, so I'll just wait. Oh, that was a fun show.
Well, we haven't ended it yet. We're still live.
Oh, okay. Why?
Yeah, because you're like, wait up, and I'm waiting before we end it.